I can't believe you'd say that about midget skin.
You're gonna start every fucking podcast off like this.
What are you talking about? No. I don't know. I don't know how to start these. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I would like
the
you to start
traditional,
it.
it's like, hey, it's your boy, Soul Felony,
It's your
coming at
boy.
you.
Yeah, but that's so lame. That's so
Yeah, but
lame.
being lame is what gets you views, right? That's what I
Mm-mm.
think.
No. How many
I don't know, man.
podcasts do you watch that start off, hey, welcome to the next episode of This Is Our Podcast. And we're going to be talking about granola bars. Have you ever had a granola bar, Ken?
Mm, no, I've never had one in my entire
That
life.
is what? That's insane. You've never had a granola
Yeah.
bar?
I mean, in my experience, from what I've seen in podcasts, is people take like a clip from like later on in the episode, like a funny clip, pop it at the
Mm-hmm.
front, and then that's the intro. You know what I mean?
I don't think we're that
And then
funny.
I agree, but I'm just saying, maybe if we worked harder, we would get to that point.
I
I
don't
don't make any
know.
promises, but it'd be like that.
I guess so. Also, well, we had a, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I haven't seen that too much.
I don't know. I see it in the ones I watch. Maybe it's just like a thing from like the genre I tend to watch. But
What do you watch?
um, I watch the. I don't really watch it per se, but Markiplier's the Distractables one. Mostly if it's on, I just listen to it while I'm doing something else.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's Markiplier's podcast with his other friends, Bob and Wade,
Oh,
and it's usually pretty funny.
the ones I
Sometimes I
watch. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Continue.
No. I
No,
request that you
okay.
finish.
I was just gonna say that the other one he does is like I think it's like Go My Favorite Sports Team or something, but I
Oh,
don't usually watch that. Nothing against that stuff. I just don't really care about sports all that much.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. See, and now I bet you feel like an ass for making me say it. So,
Yeah. No, the ones
so who's
I
the real
watch,
loser?
Two Bears, One Cave. I
Yeah,
also
Two Bears, One Cave.
watch Bad Friends. Bad Friends
I think,
has Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee.
yeah, I think you told me about this one, and I saw a clip, but it's not one I watch often.
I think they're funny.
Yeah, I will say, Hot Dog is Not a Sandwich is a really good podcast too.
I haven't seen it yet.
The Good Mythical
I've been
Kitchen
wanting
one,
to watch it, dude. I watch their stuff all the time. I
dude,
just
it's so
watched.
good.
They just posted a fucking. We were gonna date when this just came out, or when we recorded it. They just released a $500 pizza. I fucking didn't finish it yet, but dude, I love when they just like throw money at the wall and try to make
Yeah,
something
yeah,
gourmet.
yeah. That kind of stuff's always interesting. It doesn't help. Like, I mean, it definitely helps. It was actually something I just noticed. Like, good Mythical Kitchen Josh's Twitter popped up on my Twitter, and I was like, "Holy shit! I didn't realize how jacked that dude was
He
until I
is
saw his Twitter.
fucking
Dude's
jacked,
fucking
dude.
ripped.
He is.
like I,
Oh my god, I
like
want
I
him to
need to
hold
hit the
me.
gym.
What,
Yeah. Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that.
dude? Yeah, I'm touch deprived.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, I don't feel it.
Yeah. See, I do.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I'm just built
Oh, oh yeah, that's so gross. It's so nasty.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of nasty, that kind of brings us on to today's topic, which is work.
that was such a bad
'Cause
segue.
work is don't. Wow, dude, you're just gonna
That
drop
was
it.
such a bad
Just gonna
segue.
drop it.
No,
No,
I was working up to the job thing. You just were
no.
like,
We're going straight into the job.
let me just slink, like fucking cut him loose.
Yeah, cut him loose, dude. You can't be fucking. Okay, if you got a fish on the
Actually,
line that you're not gonna reel in,
I was gonna
you don't
segue it
let that
like
fucking
3
go.
times when we were talking, but you kept adding stuff, so I kept adding
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
and then I was
because
about to
that's
add
what we
something
do.
else, and then you're like, "Well, to bring
And
in
now we
any
have this whole
topic."
segment that's off topic.
There
So
is no topic. Well, there is a
there's a
topic, but
topic. There's a
this
topic.
is
He's lying to you.
we're just trying something new. It's very very loose. We're trying like
Very
very
loosey
loose
goosey.
episodes,
Yeah. Yeah, this is a different format. Every podcast up until now has had like a list of topics.
or
This
like
time
a
we're just,
theme.
or like a theme. This time we're sticking to kind of like a singular theme and then just probably going off a tangent that doesn't make any sense later on.
Yeah, like
So,
what we have just been doing for the first like what, like
so,
5 minutes.
yeah. Also,
Talking about 5 minutes.
talking about 5 minutes. I don't know
How
where you're
quick
going
do
with
you come? I don't
that.
know.
5 minutes? Jeez. I ain't got all day.
Oh, what is that pizza? Oh, was it Domino's that had the commercial? It's like a hot and ready pizza in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What are we gonna do for 30 minutes?" And then it's like it's two people in regular clothes, and it cuts to them in robes, and they're like, "What are we gonna do for the next 25 minutes?" But
Yeah. But yeah, so this past week, I quit my job, which obviously doesn't impact too many people, but it's because I am planning on a move. So the podcast is hopefully going to stay on schedule, but it could get a little wonky. But
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out by the seat of our pants or whatever, however that saying goes.
Seat of our pants? What?
Yeah,
What
it's
does that
like
even
the seat of
mean?
your pants. It's kind of like on the fly. Is I think
On the
what the
fly?
phrasing is.
Why didn't you
Yeah.
just say on the fly?
That would have made more sense because
By the
fuck you.
seat of one's pants, by
Yeah,
instinct
whatever.
rather than logic or knowledge.
Yeah, just winging it. You know.
Why didn't you just say just winging it?
Why are you gonna judge how I say something, huh? That's awful zoomer of you.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Now that I've alienated a fraction of what could be our audience, because I am planning on moving. Now, this kind of brought the topic of work stories and just kind of places you've worked that have had good experiences. For instance, my current job up until last week is probably the first job I've ever had that I've had overall good experiences with. Previous jobs were all shitty. They were either abusive workplaces where they expect you to do way more than what you're paid for, or they just don't pay you enough, and it's just a shitty management type situation. So
I've only had 2 jobs.
I've had
my mic.
3, 4, and like a summer job as a kid.
What?
But honestly, the summer job as a kid, I mostly just smoked weed and didn't do what I was supposed to. So
what the
I
I've
look, man.
never I never smoked. Actually, that is true. I've never smoked weed on the job. Edibles, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Very
See,
different.
I wasn't going to for this job, right? So the only reason I had this job is because I failed 2 classes in my 11th grade year. And my dad was like, look, if you're going to have to go to summer school, you're going to pay for it because, we broke. So I had to get a summer job. And the guy I was working for was like this super like misogynistic kind of like redneck kind of guy, like not not a great guy to be around, really rude. But the first day on the job, we go to do this concrete patio because he works in concrete, and he's like, "Hey, you kids smoke?" And I'm like, "No," and I'm like, "Yeah, right, yeah."
No.
Great icebreaker, by the way. And I'm like, "What? No, no." And of course, my buddy who was also working with me was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, God damn it, dude. So he just pulls out his piece and like he's just like, look, we'll smoke before work. It'll be a good time. There are several types of people who can smoke and work.
Yeah.
I am not one of them. All right. If I
Same.
smoke before work, I'm just like, I just want to nap and eat and
Same.
shit. Only job I ever had where I could was dishwashing because dishwashing is great while you're like just
Oh my
bliss. You're just like
God.
you get into the rhythm. It's just like next thing you know, it's time to go home. It's great. But so he's like, all right, we'll smoke before work. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like I don't want to do this. But he's just like, nah, come on. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Damn.
So we smoked before this job, and it's like concrete work. All right, so he's like, all right, you guys start digging this around this patio and get ready. And I'm just like barely able to move my arm. It's like I have like Squidward tentacles, like just
Just a
can't do shit. And he goes inside, to bang the client, which I didn't find out about until afterward.
what?
So so we're sitting here fucking doing all of his work while he's off banging the client, and I'm
Dude.
just like, bruh. So we did this job for like
Was it a female or
two and a
male
half
client?
months. Female client.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My boss at the time, obviously, or not obviously, but to clarify, was also in a relationship, but whatever.
Yeah.
Dude
I
was
mean, it
just like,
happens
yeah, dude was
sometimes.
just a dick the whole time. But he just kept complaining about my work ethic and then constantly saying, let's smoke before work. And I'm like, dude, I work like crap when I am high. What don't you get about this? So I was just like, fuck this shit. So I got paid enough from them to pay off my summer school. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. Last day on the job, I was working an angle grinder and I slipped like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I remember one time I got high at work. It was back when I worked at the barbecue place, and we had brownies. It was a dessert,
Yeah.
and everybody ate some. I had more than I should have because I didn't know what was in them. Somebody else, one of the waiters, also had more than he should have because he was a drug addict. And he's serving people, and he's serving one of the big tables because we had like two big tables. I think at the point he had 8 customers, so he had 8 drinks in his tray, and he's bringing it over, and fucking, he spilled a glass of water down some dude's shirt,
Oh
and
no.
it was fucking so fucking bad. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm never like this. I'm so stupid. I'm so bad. The entire night he was just fucking on about the drink he spilled on the dude. And then I'm fucking walking
uh,
like a snail, fucking because I was a host. I was like, how many? 2? I'm fucking looking at the fucking the menus like, how many's 2? And I barely made it through the night. I was doing dishes, fucking taking forever. Fucking cleaning like the same plate for 20 minutes. And yeah, that was the highest I've ever been at work. I've been
Mm,
on pills before. Uh I can
mm.
obviously work on pills easy. Easy peasy. I think the only other time I've ever been high was I was high a couple times. One
Mhm.
here, one of my managers just gave me gummies. Fucking easy night. We didn't have much to do, so obviously that was fun. And then I think when I was also working produce, I had a brownie as well there, and we didn't get shit done that day. And then we left it for the next shift. There was absolutely
Yeah.
no way.
I feel like that kind of stuff, like I said earlier, it requires a specific job and a specific type of person.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like for instance, when I worked as a dishwasher, I was a dishwasher at this restaurant for like 7 years,
Mhm.
right? Um, and I would like for the longest time, I would just fucking. You got to know your limits too. Obviously, too
Yeah.
high is not good. It's like
Yeah.
I'd smoke a little bit before work. I'd be like huge vibing, and then I'd go in and I'd just be like, "Yeah, man, I'm fucking washing dishes and helping people out and making salads and stuff when people need help." The one time I broke that cycle was I started working as a waiter for a little while, just to
Mhm.
cover because we didn't have a waiter. Day one, I came in like, after smoking a bit. I couldn't remember shit, dude. Like I was trying to write down orders, my handwriting was horrible. I forgot to put orders up, and it was like people were just getting not happy with me,
Just
right?
yeah.
So, needless to say, I didn't make a lot in tips that night.
Shh.
uh, but it was just like so horrible. And I remember coming home and I was just kind of like fogging out of it. I was like,
Mhm.
man, that was a horrible experience. But it's like, no, it's like doing dishes and stuff, no problem. Doing like hard
Yeah.
labor, working out in the sun, fuck that. Like
Oh yeah.
that's the kind of job like where I'll do the job and then come home and do something like that. Like I'm not fucking doing it before work,
It's just
you know.
being high is like something like weed high is something else. I can be
Yeah.
drunk on the job. I can be on like oxy, like that stuff easy. Weed,
Yeah.
I just want to take a nap. I'm a
I can honestly
little
say, oh, sorry.
no, I'm just a little I'm a little tired boy when I smoke
Yeah, yeah. I can honestly say I've never been drunk at work intentionally. Like
intentionally.
from the night before maybe,
Uh-huh.
but um I don't
Uh-huh.
remember if I told you this story, but I worked at Goodwill for the longest time.
That was on the last podcast,
Y-
dude.
oh, that was on the last podcast. Yeah, shit. So you
Yeah.
go check out the last podcast and you
Yeah,
get that
yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah. Also with
I
the like
was
other 1,000 people who watched it,
yeah,
apparently.
yeah, apparently. But I just got like, and I worked for a secondhand like antique store where we did a lot of pickups and stuff like that, and buying and
Mhm.
selling. And at the time, I drank quite a bit,
Mm.
like a whole lot. I had to quit drinking like altogether. It was so bad, but I hated the job. I didn't get paid enough money. The boss was like a narcissistic, lying asshole. So it was just like a whole bunch of stuff, and then I kind of like he kind of enabled the drinking because like I guess actually I take that back. We did drink on the job, because
What?
we yeah, like the last 2 or 3 hours of the day, if we were just like cleaning up scrap metal or something,
Yeah.
he'd pick up like a fucking case of beer and we'd just all start drinking. You know, so it's like I'm out here on top of like a truck with an angle grinder or like fucking chopping up things with like a reciprocating saw or something, and like with a fucking beer in my hand, and I'm surprised I didn't lose any appendages, which is good because like, it's not like you offered
Mhm.
insurance. But he like enabled that, and I think that's why I ended up staying at that job for so long because he was like, it kind of was like, oh, it's kind of like a laid back, fun place to work, but I hated every
Mhm.
other aspect of it, so it was horrible. The cool stuff about working in an antique store, though, for those of you who haven't, is you get to see a lot of cool stuff you wouldn't usually see. The downside is sometimes that's spiders. For those of you that are arachnophobic.
Oh my goodness. I worked I do mods at Walmart, and
Mhm.
I had to do the garden mods, and we have to move warehouse beams like out, and nobody cleans this place ever. Obviously it's garden. Who the fuck cleans garden? And we had some dude who was like arachnophobic. Am I saying that word wrong? Did I just say
Yeah.
it wrong?
No, no,
Arachnophobic?
arachnophobic.
Yeah, he was arachnophobic. So it was hard. It was hard for him to like help me out. So I had to do that. And I'm going under the shelf to like to pick up the steel beam that's on the floor. And I fucking like my head went through like three fucking spider webs, and it was just the most disgusting thing I've ever like felt and went through. I felt like spiders were crawling all over me. I'm not arachnophobic, so it didn't like I felt it, but it's not scary to me. Like I can work
Mm,
around spider stuff like that. Obviously I worked in produce, so like I shouldn't freak out around like spiders and stuff in case they get scared and bite me. Obviously,
mm.
because the banana spiders just like if you fucking get bit, you're done, you're dead, you're finito.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, I fucking like this was about last week. This was last week, and I was dealing with spiders all day,
yeah.
all
Yeah, I
fucking
mean,
day.
even if you're not arachnophobic, like that feeling of running through spider webs, or like when you get like an idea that something is like when you become unnaturally aware of
Mhm.
something, it's like all that's all you can think about.
Mhm.
Like I had the same situation or a similar situation happen. Actually, the antique thing. We had gone to a pole barn to pick up or to clear it out. He had bought everything in it. And I picked up this old whiskey barrel, like a real big old whiskey barrel, and I pick it up and
Yeah.
I go to put it on the truck. I'm wearing this white T-shirt, and I see a movement out of the bottom of my eye. And I look down, and on my T-shirt is the biggest black spider I've ever seen, just running up my shirt. Right.
Uh-huh.
So I have never ever taken my shirt off that fast in my entire life.
Mm.
I was just like freaking out. I told my boss, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm sitting down for a little bit because I've never had a panic attack, but I think I'm about to.
Yeah,
Like I
Jesus.
like spiders. I just don't like them on me. Is the thing.
Uh,
So, and then of course, the whole day afterwards, I was just like constantly checking myself over and making sure that I didn't have fucking spiders on me.
no, I'm cool
I'd
with it.
imagine you see that a lot in, like the garden, like you said, the gardening department,
Yeah,
or
and I still need to finish those mods this week, so I'm gonna see a lot more.
do you see
I'm
a
up.
lot of that stuff in produce? I know because you're like
I don't
southern,
work produce anymore,
southwestern.
but I used to. I used to
Yeah,
see a few spiders back in the day. Working bananas. That's
yeah.
about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember
Um,
when I lived in Arizona, it's like couldn't go anywhere in a lot of places without seeing like insects and spiders and shit.
oh
So
my
I
goodness,
wasn't.
did I ever tell you about the time there was this scorpion in our fucking in our store, and everybody was freaking out?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to print mods so this girl can because I was training this girl how to do mods, and I guess I walked past it, and all I hear is oh my god, and I'm fuck. She's like grabbing me, jumping on me. I'm like fucking. She's on my back. I'm piggybacking this woman on me, and I look, and there's a fucking scorpion on the ground. I was like, oh, it's okay. It's just sitting there. Just don't get near it. So I carry this girl on my back to the computer. She finally hops off. I'm printing paperwork, and then somebody else comes and picks it up with a garbage can and takes it out. But it was like, oh my god, nobody has ever like jumped on me because they were so scared
Yeah,
before.
yeah, it's some like cartoon Scooby Doo
Ew,
level shit that you
yeah.
see.
hmm Except it was on my back. It was
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
glad I was her
No,
hero.
I've only ever seen one scorpion in my entire time in Arizona. Now, granted, I'm sure they were around because, like, I know if you put like a black light down, sometimes like the smaller ones will glow. But
Mm-hmm.
hello, kitty cat.
Hello,
This one's
kitty.
Peanut.
Oh.
She's literally the worst. Literally the worst. There's no respect for boundaries. She bites when she gets too
Mm-mm-mm.
excited. The worst. But only time I ever saw a scorpion in my time in Arizona was we were in Phoenix and we lived in an apartment complex. And my brother and I were off to school. And my brother goes ahead of me. And I see this, like, I don't know, what's the color? Like cream colored scorpion just like chilling on his backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like a kid. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, hey, bro. I didn't say bro. I said his name. But like, you have a scorpion on your backpack. And of
Yeah.
course, he's the younger brother, and he was a little panicky at first, and then he calmed down. So we just kind of like grabbed it by its tail, like we saw on like Animal Planet and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of like took it outside and stuff. But I look back on moments like that because when I lived in like Arizona, New Mexico, we would
Mm-hmm.
play with all kinds of shit. It's like
Yeah.
we got caught playing with a black widow spider at one point, just kind of big chilling with it. Um, Sometimes I wonder how I'm still alive, I guess.
Because like you're just in those situations where you could have
Yeah.
died.
I got bit by a water snake once and didn't tell anybody. It could have been venomous. I don't know. Most of the time, if a snake's in the water, it's not good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a kind of, at least up here. I don't know. I really don't know how it is in like the Southwest and stuff like that.
No.
Around here and in Alabama, like Alabama area,
Mm-hmm.
I was always taught if you see a snake in the water, don't mess with it because I think it could be like a water moccasin or a copperhead. Um,
Uh,
those are all very, very, very dangerous. And
see.
my brother and I saw one in like the water, and we were just like, "Yo, this thing is so big! It's so cool! Like we've never seen a snake this size." So I just grabbed it, we put it in a box, and closed the box, and we took it home. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't get bit, up until I reached my hand in the box to like kind of pick it up again to get a better look, and of course it was pissed. So two fucking monkeys just came out of nowhere and put it in a box, and and I just fucking latched onto my hand, and of course I like fucking threw it, and it ran off. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, man, we were always told not to pick up snakes like this. I'm not going to tell anybody because I'm going to get in trouble for
Yeah.
it. So I could have died there had that thing been venomous, but it was not.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever picked up. Oh, yeah, I think I've picked up one snake, but I've always been told not to mess with them. especially New Mexico. Like when we used to hike a lot, and if you hear a rattle, just walk the other way. Just walk
Yeah.
the other way. Yeah, I've heard
I
so
didn't
many
even know we had them up
rattles.
here.
You have
I didn't even
rattlesnakes
know
up there?
we have rattlesnakes up here. We have a whole like rattlesnake hunting festival because there's so many of them in like a specific area around
Oh,
here.
Jesus.
Um, yeah, I didn't even know there was a thing, you know. And then we came up here because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, rattlesnakes are like a we don't have to worry about them up here. And then my dad's like, no, you're an idiot. They're up here. Didn't actually call me an idiot, but you know, it's we have like I guess it's like a whole thing where tourists come up to hunt rattlesnakes. I don't, but I guess the population of them in that like particular area of Pennsylvania around here is just so high. They just have to do it to keep them down.
Damn.
I
Damn.
always thought they were just a hot weather snake.
Same.
So,
Because
but
they go in like like kind of hibernation in colder weather.
yeah,
So you would
yeah,
expect them to be only in like desertish areas, but
yeah.
no.
But no,
Oh, did I ever
no,
tell
hang
you?
out ever.
I was with my family and we were heading out of the movies. I forgot what movie we were watching, but it doesn't really matter. We were at a stoplight and the we see the walking sign. And we're like, damn, this is taking forever. And we look on the ground and a fucking snake slithering across the crosswalk to get to the other side of the road. That's pretty cool. I don't know who pressed the
Yeah.
button or anything, but that was pretty cool. Or if it just automatically lights up with the man walking.
Yeah, that's kind of funny that the just like there you go, little buddy.
Yeah.
Um, we have I haven't witnessed any stoplights working for them, but I've seen like in this area we have a lot of snapping turtles. They come out of like ponds and the rivers and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're always trying to fucking cross the road, man. Like they're just I don't know, trying to go to a different pond to get laid or whatever they're doing, and they're just like all over the place. Same with frogs. Like if you get a rainy day here, frogs are just all over the road. You can't drive without hearing that pop, pop, pop of just running over frogs. It's so
Jesus.
crazy. But so these, I remember I was coming home from work the one day and we saw a snapping turtle trying to cross the road. He was like halfway through. And I was like, somebody's going to hit him. And if you knock them up, like they can do some serious damage to the vehicle.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, not excluding the damage that would be done to them and the fact that they would most likely die.
Yeah.
So we pulled over and went to like kind of push it
Mhm.
because I didn't want to reach down and grab it because their necks are a lot longer than people think.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I was pushing it, and it like I think I was pushing it with like I had a like a long windshield scraper in my car.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like it was like curling, you know. I was like
Yeah.
curling it or whatever, you
Killing the
know,
fucking
trying to
turtle.
get it across.
You got somebody
Motherfucker
with a
just like
broom.
yeah, just kind of sweeping in front. Just, oh
Swim
my god.
faster.
Sleep faster, man. No, don't get too close to the head. And so I got him across because it looked like he was heading towards this pond on the other side. So I
Yeah.
got him across off the road, and as I'm pulling the broom away, he whips around like fucking so fast and just
Mhm.
grabs onto it, right? And I just left it. I let him take it because I
That's
can
his
buy a new
now.
one. That's his now. I You never really realize how fast a fucking turtle can move until you see them move.
Yeah.
It's so scary, especially one that can like take off like a finger.
Oh my
Oh,
god. Have you seen like some of them just run? Just
hmm
fucking
yeah,
run.
it's so scary. It's like God, if you, it makes you wonder. Like I know, like the larger turtles are a little slower, but we have this idea that turtles are so slow, but it's like when they actually want to get moving, like they are
Yeah.
fucking like they're gone. You know.
It's like me when I hear there's a new item on the Taco Bell menu. Normally I'm slow, but like as soon as I hear like Gordita Plus, I'm fucking zoom.
Yeah, I totally would too if we had a Taco Bell around here. But I fucking love Taco Bell, dude. I know it's like super generic white dude thing, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like sit here and claim that Taco Bell is like the best Mexican experience.
Oh,
It's
of
like,
course not.
of course not, but I love Taco Bell, man. It's like it's so
It's like
bad for you.
McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's for burgers. You go to McDonald's for
No,
McDonald's. You go to Taco
yeah.
Bell for Taco Bell. You don't go there for Mexican food.
No, you go there because you want junk and it like is so good and just covered in
Yeah,
grease
you
and
get your Baja Blast, your fucking
yeah.
your
Oh,
nacho
it's so
fries,
fucking
whatever
good.
they have at the moment.
That
Just
reminds me, I had a fucking I don't know who all's familiar with Chi-Chi's, but Chi-Chi's is like a kind of a fast food Mexican joint.
Yeah.
It's
I've never
not
heard of it.
no, it's not very good.
No.
Um, it's not very good, but it's like a fast food Mexican. I guess what would you call it? Like a fast food sit down restaurant. Like the food's all you can tell it all came off the back of like a Cisco truck or something,
Oh.
but it's not very good.
Oh.
So I
Like a sit down?
yeah, kind of like a sit down, but the food's all kind of garbage.
Oh.
Like not garbage enough to be like good like Taco Bell,
Yeah.
but like it's like it's trying to pretend to be something it isn't.
Is it like Olive Garden?
Kind of, yeah. It's like what Olive Garden is to Italian food.
Rather than just
uh,
microwaved.
yeah, the microwave is the
Chef Mike works hard at
chef,
Olive Garden,
chef
dog.
Mike. Yeah, but I was doing a computer job for an older couple here, and nothing against them. I'm not talking shit on them, but they went down to like Mexico, Cancun
Mhm.
for like a week or whatever, and they were telling me about how great an experience it was. And I'm like, oh, well, did you go to any like local restaurants or anything? I'm like, no, there was a Chi-Chi's nearby, and we ate there about every day. I'm like, you went to Mexico, okay, and
Yeah.
ate food you could have gotten with an hour's drive away. And
Yeah,
I
that's
was just like,
crazy.
that's great. But it's crazy to me when these people like they go places. Like I understand to some extent if you want to go maybe experience if you go to Japan and go to a McDonald's in Japan or something, you want to see maybe what the
Yeah.
difference is. But getting the same food that you can get at home in a different country while I guess touring it's crazy to me. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I've never even
No.
been out of the country, so I can't say
Like
for sure.
when you go to Canada, you gotta have poutine.
Yeah.
And then eat
Yeah.
nothing else except
Yeah.
poutine. They have
Yeah.
nothing else. They have nothing else besides
He's been on
poutine.
this kick like nonstop for like a week. It's because Mercury's in Gatorade or something.
What are you talking about? I'm just telling you. What else does what does Canada have? Maple
They have
syrup?
Mounties and Rocky and Bullwinkle, which I just realized is probably a reference you don't get.
What does that even mean? A Rocky?
Rocky and Bullwinkle? It was an old cartoon that was
I
like
saw the
Rocky was.
movie.
Oh yeah, so that's what the movie was, but it was like an
Oh,
old cartoon, and it was I don't know, dude. It was Canadian and it was funny.
that's Canadian. Oh,
Yeah, it's a moose.
there's moose in America.
Yeah, but they're
Mice.
more popular. Yeah, they're more popular in Canada.
No, I guess so.
Yeah,
And the fucking squirrel.
yeah.
What is Rocky?
Um,
Or yeah, what
he's
is
like a
Rocky?
flying squirrel, which makes no sense to me. I don't
Dude,
remember if he was a flying squirrel or if he was just a squirrel with an airplane.
what? Wait, I thought he flies.
I think he does fly. I can't remember. It's been a
Because that's the
long
whole
time.
point of the movie. Like he can't fly, and then at the end,
Oh, I didn't watch
he
the
gets
movie.
his gas again.
I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know. I probably
Yeah,
should have,
that's the
but
only thing I've seen of Rocky and Bullwinkle. But I'm talking
yeah.
about food. I'm talking about
Oh,
what else
specifically food?
besides food? Yeah, besides fucking
They
maple syrup and poutine.
they have other stuff, but I think the biggest problem is
It's not
at
good.
least for Americans, is no, I think it's fine. I mean, I've never had it, but because of how close we are as countries, I think a lot of their food gets intermingled with our like northern food. Like obviously everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Canada's known for maple syrup." And it's like, "Cool, so is Vermont." It's like
But
I
what
think
is it? 85% of the syrup distributed around the world is from Canada.
oh yeah, for sure. But I just think it's like because of how close we are as a country, a lot of our stuff gets intermingled. It's kind of the reason you can spend a fucking Canadian quarter and nobody gives a shit in the US and vice versa. So it's like a lot of their foods would are have like very Americanized takes in like the
Mm,
northern border kind of thing.
mm.
Also, I have no idea what else because I don't really pay attention to Canada much, and I think that's an American like I really think that's an American thing. I think Americans just don't pay
I
much
just
attention to
don't
Canada.
think Canada does much. What
I
does
think they
Canada do?
do. Canada does a lot, but if unfortunately they do a lot of the same stuff the U.S. does, and that's never good.
Mm. Yeah.
They just do it with more
Fucking
tact.
They have more taxes. Yeah, that is true.
No, I would say tact, but I mean,
Oh. Well, both are true.
both, yeah. But they also, to some extent, don't have to worry about going bankrupt if they break their arm or something. Because
That's
most
true, but
people in
you
the
do have
U.S.
to
are
wait
living.
fucking 3 days to get it examined. But
I think I don't think that's accurate. I think that's.
well, wait times are much longer than like America.
I don't know,
China.
dude.
Hmm.
I've been to the emergency room in the U.S. and
It's taken a night, but it hasn't taken 3 days.
oh no, I during COVID was horrible.
Oh, that's a different story though. Imagine the wait times
Yeah.
in Canada with COVID. Jeez.
But that's the thing is I can't speak on it for certain, but I'm pretty sure that was just something that was spread to make healthcare sound terrible.
Free
I've
healthcare.
never yeah, I've never been to
Well, if you think about it, and
universal
from what
healthcare.
I have seen from countries that do have free healthcare, you do get an influx of people wanting to use the healthcare. Obviously, if you're paying all these taxes, you want to go. In America, you got to pay you got to pay an arm and a leg
Yeah,
to check out your
exactly.
arm and
So,
a leg. So
yeah. And that's the
obviously,
thing. I'd rather wait. I would rather wait and make sure that I had coverage because yeah, even if let's say I got into the emergency room tonight and they took care of it tonight, I mean, I'm one medical bill away from, potential bankruptcy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And most people in the US living day to day are, one medical emergency away from losing, everything they've worked for.
Mhm.
That's where,
Yeah.
I think
So
waiting a bit is worth it.
yeah, wait times are longer, but like I said, it's just it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah. Well, subsidized. But yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah. Well, you got to
They never
specify.
see
Some
it
people get
anyway. They never
some
see that
people
money
yeah,
anyway. So
exactly. Like I pay school taxes and like I don't think I've ever like looked at what I pay in school taxes like
yeah,
once. You know what I
I
mean?
pay military
Like, I don't give a shit.
taxes. 90% of my money that is taken from the government goes to the military. Which is insane, dude. It's
Yeah.
so fucking insane.
Our defense budget is insane compared to everything else. Like we
There's no
spend
reason.
more than the top 3 countries spend on their military combined.
And
It's
China's
that's
right now,
insane.
it's better. China's better. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I had this coworker who I actually recently met because he's been working with us for like a couple months, and I just barely started talking to him. Yeah, your focus has been hella weird.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know.
but no, he was telling me how he was a recruiter tried to get him enlisted into the army, and what happened was the night before he was supposed to go to training and all that, he burned his body. 20% of his body was pretty much, I forget, third degree burns. Is that what the most?
I think it's third degree,
It's
yeah.
it was 20% of his body had third degree burns on him, and
Ugh.
yeah, so he was in the hospital, and the recruiter calls him. He's like, "Hey, you think you're gonna be able to make it?" He's like, "I had 20% of my body burned. I can't." He's like, when do you think you're gonna be up and ready to go?" He's like, "I don't think I'm gonna be going at all." He's like, "Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know." Which is so fucking insane. They just
Mhm.
want bodies. They don't fucking care.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they recruit in like high schools and stuff. Is
Yeah,
I
because
which
they
is crazy
promise
to
you
me
so
because
much shit, and then
yeah,
obviously look at like the homeless rates right now. A lot of the homeless right now are fucking veterans who like this country just does not care about. So
like we
yeah,
have resources, we just don't have enough. And it's like as much as we spend on defense, you'd think we'd be spending more of it, you know,
for the home front.
for when they come back, but we don't. I think like we had talked about it earlier, like it's like PTSD wasn't like an actually diagnosed. Like we knew it was a thing, but
To like
we
five
just
years
we
ago.
didn't yeah, we didn't like accept it until I think it was like the 80s, I think,
Yeah,
which is
still.
insane.
Think about all the Republicans are like, yeah, that's some bullshit. Shit. Just be a man.
Yeah, that's why I like John Stewart so much. Is because like a lot of what he does is push for like better treatment of our veterans, um, and stuff like that. And I think that's really cool.
Okay, I know who John Stewart is now. For some reason, I thought he was Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
You're thinking of Hal Stewart.
Hal Stewart, yeah. I was like, why is this
Or
man
wait,
talking
isn't it
about a
Hal
fiction?
Jordan? Hal
Hal
Jordan.
Jordan.
It's the other
Yeah.
Stewart. Who's the other
Fuck.
Green Lantern? Man, we're both idiots now.
Yeah, it's. I swear to God, it's John Stewart.
John Stewart. No, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, they just spell it different.
You
Oh
were
my
just thinking of
God.
the wrong Green Lantern. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of John Stewart, the Green Lantern. He does a lot of things for our
Yeah.
vets. Huge fan. That's okay. I'm just as much of an idiot because I mixed up their names.
Uh,
So nobody wins in this scenario.
yeah, dude. Oh my God. I was like, why is he talking about Green Lantern? That's why I looked up John Stewart. I was like,
Yeah, you know. Yeah, he
uh,
used to host the Daily Show or
yeah.
something
Now
like
he's
that.
fighting galactic wars.
And I was fighting Galactic Wars as the Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's we do. We don't take care of our vets, and then I don't know. That's kind of why I feel like a lot of the people, and not everybody, I'm not going to generalize, but a lot of people, especially that I've personally met, have this like sense of, oh, I respect your service, but then it's like when it comes to spending more for those social welfare programs for them, it's like, oh, we'll get fucked.
The thing
And
is,
I
we
just,
don't need to. Whoa. Americans don't need to spend more. They just need to fucking redistribute the taxes that they already fucking take.
yeah, yeah. But
We
because we're so like caught up on this fear mongering,
war,
you
yeah,
know, it's
that
like, oh, we
war that's
have to
probably
spend it
never gonna
here,
happen.
you know? Like Michael Jordan said in that meme, fuck them kids. They don't need an education.
What
I don't know. It was like that Michael Jordan meme that I saw. I don't know
is
what the
that? The one
reference
with
was, but
Kanye? Is the-
might have been Kanye too. But I think that I saw it's the Michael Jordan Nike one.
Michael Jordan, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't know how to spell fuck. No, your meme.
Yeah.
In late 2016, professional basketball player Michael Jordan and Chris Paul were at a summer camp event where they decided to wage a friendly bet. If Jordan missed 3 shots, the entire camp got free Jordans. The bet was documented in a video
Oh.
where Jordan proceeded to make every shot. None of the kids got Jordans. It was a cheap. Wow. And
Kids.
wow. The video resurfaced online. User killed text to create a fake inspirational photo quote of Jordan saying, fuck them kids.
Okay,
Imagine
that's
that.
actually that's terrible and hilarious. I didn't know the origin of it. I just remember I'd seen it.
Wow. Dude really did say fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Shit. But yeah, they don't need education. Education's for them
They don't need
being
Jordans
smart.
on them feet.
They don't need Jordans.
Them J's on them feet. No. Dude made every fucking shot. That's insane.
Well, man, this man had a career on the line. You gotta, he's got
I
to
guess
show.
it's
Yeah.
either, give all these kids at summer camp shoes or like be like, nah, I'm the best for a reason.
Yeah, well, after his baseball career, he really didn't want to repeat of that. So
Yeah. The only
yeah,
reason why I know Jordan had a baseball career is because of Space Jam.
yeah. I remember it because when I was in, I'm sure we might have talked about this on the podcast before. When I was a kid, I really liked basketball. Actually, Space Jam got me into it, and
Oh,
I was a Bulls fan because Space Jam.
Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like following his career. Like, well, I was kind of into basketball before Space Jam, I guess I should say. I'd
Mhm.
always been kind of a Bulls fan, but then the Space Jam thing was like, yeah, I love Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, like, I don't know. I kind of been following his career a bit. That was like the only time I was really into sports. I tried to get into basketball through high school, but I don't know, man.
Oh.
I enjoyed playing basketball. I hate organized basketball. Like the most fun I ever had was when like me and like a group of friends would get together on like the court at like the park or something. Like
Mhm.
I hate plays and trying to fucking try hard the game. Like I was just out here to have fun.
Oh my god,
Up
did I ever
until I
tell
got
you?
elbowed in the nose, but
Um, so my friends and I were at the basketball court playing. My friends, I wanted to go to my other buddy's house to play some video games, and my other friends were like, "Hey, can I keep your ball then till tomorrow for school, so we can still play?" And it was him and three other guys. I was like, "Yeah, sure, keep my ball." This veteran, funny enough, um, paraplegic. He no, was he? No, he had one leg, and then the other one he had a prosthetic. And he's like, "I'll take you three kids on, 1v3, first to 11 wins." And he wanted to put money on it. Oh man, they're like, "We ain't got money, but we'll play you." And they played, and they didn't make a single fucking shot. That fucking old man with one leg fucking knocked some sense into them. Like, I get a call.
Oh
He's
my.
like, "What?" Oh,
No, nothing. I'm just bitching.
I get a call. He's like, "Man, you needed to be here." This old man with one leg fucking kicked our asses in basketball.
Yeah.
I'm upset I missed it.
Yeah, that would have been really cool to experience. Getting
Yeah.
your shit rocked.
Nah, I could have took him. I
Yeah,
used to play
I'm sure.
basketball every fucking day.
Yeah, I did too.
And
And
then,
of course, I kept playing with people who played street rules, which is how I ended up breaking my nose once.
oh. Yeah, no, I didn't do that. But no, I stopped playing in the high school because I was depressed.
Yeah, that'll do it. High school is like kind of where you go to get depressed.
I know. It was the first time I ever thought about death as well. Like,
Yeah.
actually thought about death, and like, oh my god, when I it felt just like my cave, or my chest was like caving in, and I was suffocating. And it was like the first anxiety attack I've ever had.
Oh man.
And I never had
Yeah,
any
dude.
since. Because my dad told me to be a man.
And it just fixes all of
It's
his
just,
problems.
yeah, it fixed all my problems, just be a man.
Crazy, crazy
Every
man. It's
time I'm
that
sad
easy.
now. Yeah. Every time I
Yeah, it's
want to
that easy.
cry or like I get sad, be a man.
Yep, fixes everything.
But no. Ken,
But,
did you
yeah.
have any other work experiences, Ken?
I mean, I've had quite a few, but most of them are just kind of boring. I
Oh,
mean,
did I ever tell you I caught somebody fucking in the dairy cooler?
no, you did not. I would
uh,
remember this one.
it was my manager and another associate in the dairy cooler. I look and I see movement, and then I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's happening in there? Are they stocking dairy?" And I'm going to open the door, and I hear. I was like, "Oh, never mind. That's that's it." There was that. I also remember I wasn't there for it, but they showed me the video afterwards. It was actually before I even worked at Walmart. Um, I guess I'm sorry. There's two incidents of this. There's these two associates that were new, and it was their first day actually unloading trucks. And during their lunch, they decided to go to the back and fuck, and they didn't know we had cameras back there. And the dude had this girl pinned against the wall and like holding her legs up and just going to town on her. And it was like I was impressed, dude. I was like, how do you even what? That's something I like. I've never seen that before. It was very impressive, and they got fired hours later.
Yeah, yeah. That's I feel like that's a one-way ticket to unemployment. So,
There's that one, and then there was this other dude. This was overnight, and I was working days at the time, and I heard about the day after. This is probably I think he was like 20 something. He was working with this 52-year-old. I think that's what they told me. She was 52. And they're talking, they're flirting, and everybody's going to break. And then everybody's like, "Where are these two?" Because they didn't go to break with everybody else like they normally do. Because back like when I worked at that Walmart, everybody was like kind of cool with each other, always hung out during breaks and lunches and stuff like that. This one, everybody's like antisocial. But that one, they're like, where are these two people at? So they're like searching the store, and they find them fucking naked, fucking naked, fucking in cosmetics, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they like fucking hurry up, put their clothes on. They're like, "Nothing. It's not what it looks like." They're like, "It looks like you two were fucking." like, what do you mean? And then yeah, they got fired. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the 52-year-old looked like, but I remember the 20-year-old because uh he would like talk to us during when he'd come in for like the hour before we had to
Yeah.
leave. But that's
Yeah, I
insane.
don't think I've ever worked a place where people have been, fucking in the store. Like there have been reports of it and like issues in the past.
Yeah.
Like actually my last job at the liquor store, apparently the manager at the store a town over,
Mm-hmm.
um, he he was just apparently just bringing girls into the back room, and just calling it a day. He'd lock up the store for a bit. And I guess the district manager knew about it, but she just didn't do anything about it. So he just kept doing this and then until he retired. I'm
Wow.
like, "Bruh, like, dude, like,
That
how you
sounds like
get away with
a
it for
sweet
that long?"
life. That sounds
Yeah,
dope.
I don't know. I did have a situation when I was working at that restaurant where I got accused of um, hiding a girl, not
Oh,
like
hi.
hiding a
Like
girl from her parents.
kidnap?
Uh, yeah, kind of. So I when I worked at this restaurant, I worked with another guy who I went to school with, and he was dating this chick,
Mhm.
and she kind of crazy, but she absolutely got it from her parents.
Mm.
Her mom, and I still don't like dealing with her mom. She used to come into the liquor store here and there and cause a problem. But she came in just freaking out at me. She's like, "Where's Nate?" And Nate was the kid I worked with, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"He's not on today. I mean, we're a small town restaurant. I'm the only dishwasher in." She's like, "You're hiding him back there." I'm like, "No." It's like, "Well, you're hiding somebody back there. You better not be hiding my daughter." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, you need to calm down. And she's like,
Jesus.
"Well, I haven't found my daughter." Apparently, her daughter went off and partied for like 7 days straight and never came home. Right.
What the fuck?
So she came and freaked out at me because I was apparently hiding her and her boyfriend, in the back of the Maple Tree, which was the restaurant that I worked at. And it was just like, lady, you need to calm the fuck down. So she was just sitting here in the dining room, like berating me until my boss came out and was like, you need to fucking leave. Like, that's it. Like, we're not dealing with this shit. You need to
Mm.
leave. Um, so yeah, she left. She also tried to come in. She didn't recognize me, but like I said, she came into the liquor store. She tried to return a half gallon of Jack Daniels. But the thing is, she didn't buy it here because in Pennsylvania doesn't have them, but New York has stamps that the
Mhm.
on the bottles that state that these are sold in New York.
Yeah.
So she went over to New York, bought a half gallon of Jack Daniels, and then came to us to try to return it.
I
And
didn't know
then
you could return it.
you didn't used to be able to. As long as you have a receipt, at least in Pennsylvania, the policy is you can return it. As long as you didn't drink like the whole bottle, it's like if you drank a little bit of it and you're like, oh, this is bad, especially with wines,
Yeah.
um, like, oh, this is turned. You can technically return it even if you just don't like it if you're trying something new. Um, but yeah, so she tried to return it, and I'm like, I can't take it. It's not sold here, and you don't have a receipt for it. And she's like, well, Walmart will take it without the receipt. I'm like, that's great. We're not Walmart. I don't know why people think that's a people who go into retail outlets. Okay, just if you tell the cashier that, well, this place takes it or this place does it this way, congratulations.
Mhm.
Because you're not in that place, okay? Oh, I hate
Um,
that so much.
I remember I would sell like games I didn't play on like Facebook Marketplace back in the day, and some dude's like, "Oh, um, what's it called?" It was the same price, I guess, as GameStop was selling it, but GameStop was an hour out, and
Mm,
some dude's like, "GameStop selling it for the same price." I was like, "Okay, well then drive an hour to GameStop if you want it that bad." Like,
yeah.
you want 'em to lower the price because you want it here right now?
Mm,
I don't know. It was just fucking stupid. I hated everybody in that group I'm so glad I
Oh
don't
yeah,
live there no more, and I don't fucking have to deal with it ever again.
yeah. When I worked at the antique store, it was the same way. Because we'd have stuff for like, what it was listed, or a little bit, usually a little bit under what it was listed on eBay and sold as of, trends. And people were like, "Well, I can get it on eBay for the same price." I'm like, "Cool." And they're like, "Well, aren't you gonna like lower it?" I'm like, "No, you have to pay shipping. You have to pay shipping
Yeah.
on eBay. If you want it from eBay, buy it from eBay. If you
Yeah.
want it now, it's literally right here. You know.
Mhm.
Well, you're never gonna get that for it. It's like, cool. Can I help you with anything else? Because this conversation's not going anywhere.
Yeah. They're gonna have to buy it for more. Obviously, they gotta
Yeah,
pay for shipping. They gotta
exactly.
pay. They gotta tip the delivery driver.
Yeah.
They gotta wait
Yeah,
another like fucking week for it to come in.
exactly. It's like it's here. You can pay what it's at,
Yeah.
or you can just fucking leave. Like,
Supply and demand, man.
yeah. I don't mind haggling. It's like if you want to, like, especially in like a secondhand environment, generally haggling is one of those things. It's, you know, socially accepted. You don't go to
Yeah.
Walmart and haggle, but um,
Yeah.
a secondhand store or something, it's like, yeah, it's like throw me a price. If this price isn't good for you, just throw me a price. We'll see if we can meet somewhere. Um, like fucking Pawn Stars shit, But don't sit here and be
Mhm.
like, oh well, I can get it here. Like, don't try to give me some stupid excuse. Just be like, I don't want to pay that much for it. Will you take
Yeah.
this for it? You know. Honestly, honesty in that department went a long way, at least for me, because like I'd be like, yeah, I can't meet you all the way down there, but if you can meet me up here, we're good.
Yeah.
But if you're just gonna pull that shit, I ain't working with you.
I hate it when people do that. They're like,
Yeah.
or when they come into the fucking store and they're like, "Oh, well, I remember you guys had this." I was like, "I do fucking mods, man. I know what the fuck's in this store. I've never seen that ever.
Yeah.
Don't tell me where things are when they were never there to begin with."
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, it must have been before you were here." I've been here for fucking 3 years. Last time you shopped at the store was 3 years ago. Don't come at me, girl. I'll knock you
Yep.
down a peg.
Yeah, people will lie and say anything to get a better deal. Actually, like I said, it's such the way people think that they can just get away with stuff in when talking to retail or resale employees. It's just
Yeah.
insane. I actually do have one more. Now that I went back to the resale thing, did I ever tell you the story about how it had a molten copper blow up in my face?
What?
I don't think so. All right, so I learned a valuable lesson. So on top of antiques, scrap is a big deal around here. People do a lot of scrap. Um, and my boss, we'd like clean off like radiators and stuff for copper and shit like that, copper pipes. So he got it in his head that he wanted to like make little novelty coins for the place out of the copper that we had, to kind of sell like, hey, here at Northern Tier Trading or whatever, you know, here's little coins that we made with our stamps on them.
Yeah.
Um, so we were melting down copper in this like homemade smelter that we put together. Worked really well. Uh, I we had taken probably about a 6-inch piece of copper pipe that I didn't pay attention to had been crimped on one end from when it
Mhm.
was bent to break, and I put the uncrimped end down. What this does when you're putting it in already hot molten copper is it creates pressure that
Uh-huh.
can't get out of the top of
Yeah.
the crimped end. So it shot it back up, and the copper just blew up in my face. Um, I was picking chunks of copper out of my nose for a couple days. Um,
Jesus.
it had burnt like holes into the back of my shirt because it had gone up and around and all over the place. But it sounded like a bomb. Like I had to sit down for a bit because I was like still trying to process that I still had a face. You know what I mean?
Jesus, yeah.
Um, this was an unhealthy work environment, I would like to add. If I
Yeah.
was working in the obviously that was my mistake, but if if you're going to be doing stuff like that, you need to have the proper tools. I didn't have
Yeah.
gloves, I didn't have safety glasses, I didn't have anything.
A fucking
Um,
homemade smelter.
Homemade smelter, this is some like something you see on the History Channel or something right after Moonshiners. You know what I mean?
Back in 1823, people learned how to smelt copper
Mhm.
and they
But
made
that's one of the reasons I
coins.
left there. It
Yeah.
was I was technically fired from that job. I should have left, but I ended up
Uh,
getting real bitter, and I was kind of rude to the boss on several occasions because I was just
mm,
bitter and cynical about the work environment. But it was like that all the time, where we'd end up in places where we would work and not have the proper safety utilities. We did
yeah.
an entire house demolition with, I mean, we had goggles and gloves. I had to take one of our workers. Yeah, I guess I was the operations manager at the time. I had to take him to the hospital because the general manager was up on top of this like support beams trying to kick it down, and it came down and caught this kid between the wall and uh, this beam. So we had to get this and it was like I don't know why they put it in a house, but it was like a big railroad track, like steel I beam.
Yeah.
Um, so we had to like fucking yoink that off of him, get him to the hospital. It was a terrible place to work. It was a terrible place to work. The experiences
Jesus.
were fun, but they didn't outweigh the obvious safety hazards and lack of pay. So always work for what you're worth. And if anybody tries to get you to fucking do dangerous shit like, oh, don't worry about it, it'll be fine, you know, I don't know, maybe do it because you could sue them.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Then you never have to work for them again. But sometimes
Yeah.
the dangerous possibilities are life threatening, not just
Hmm.
like, oh, a sprained ankle or something like that. So I don't know.
Man, that's crazy. I
Yeah,
had
that was a shitty job.
one of my friends. He worked in construction, and he always told me the story about one of his buddies. Um, Everybody wore steel toe boots. This dude just bought a brand new pair to work. He's flaunting them off, showing them to everybody. He fucking, like when you get like a good pair of like steel toe boots, you show them off.
Oh
You
yeah.
fucking, they're just so dope. They're so dope. They were working though, and I don't remember exactly how the story went, but he smashed his foot.
Oh.
He smashed his foot, and apparently the steel toe boots melded with his foot.
Oh.
So when they tried to take it off, he had no foot. There was no foot. There was like it was like a fucking sandwich of like steel, fucking, or it was like sole, toes,
Yeah.
steel, and yeah,
It sounds like
uh,
some cheap steel toe boots.
yeah. I
Yeah.
did.
Because they're or just something really heavy. Like I don't
It
know what
was
he would have
fucking heavy.
smashed with.
It was ran
Yeah.
over. That's what I remember. I don't know what exactly ran over his foot though.
Yeah. No shit, dude. That's crazy.
But yeah,
But
always be careful.
always be careful. And don't work
Also,
for places that aren't going to treat you the way you should be. Or at least try to get out of them.
yeah,
That's my
also
advice.
breaking your boots before bring them to work.
Yeah, because I didn't even touch. I kind of forgot about it. I feel like I've blocked that out of my memory. I worked in a call center. Actually, I think when Sol and I met, I was still
When you
working
were
at the call
doing that,
center,
yeah.
and it was the worst job I've ever had. It was a better paying job. Um, it was a better paying job, and it was full time with benefits. So I mean, it had the benefits, but it's so bad for your mental health to just sit there and get yelled at for stuff that's not
Your fault.
within your fault or anything you can do about it. Because your job, uh, as like sitting there as a customer service representative, your job is just to keep the customers off the upper people's back.
Hmm.
That's really what your job is. Try to
Yeah.
smooth things over while they fix stuff or whatever, and just maybe like in my specific instance, I was telecommunications, so mine was just like resetting modems, resending data files to the modem if they have like a voice over IP phone or something like that. And nothing too crazy, but it's just day in and day out. You're getting yelled at. I loved holidays because I will admit I always volunteered for holidays despite what my better judgment was, um, because it was double time and a half. So it's like I was working for 13.50 at the time. That's or no, I was working for 13. So I was making like 32, $34 an hour somewhere around there just for working the holiday.
Hmm.
The only problem is generally the people who are willing to call in to a call center and complain about something on a holiday are not the nicest of people.
Mm-hmm. Because that's when
But
you want stuff to work.
mhm. Oh yeah, and you usually like if stuff doesn't work when like for me like on Christmas or something, I don't usually call anybody until at least like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because it's fucking Christmas, dude. Like it's I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. But I remember I one lady called in and she just I was just sitting in my PJs because I was working from home at the time. It was my last Christmas there actually, and she called in. I was on the phone with her for 45 minutes of her just yelling at me that her Wi-Fi didn't. Her Wi-Fi did work, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, she was just a moron, and I kept trying to tell her that she was a moron in like professional terms. That because it was her husband's new iPad or something didn't hook up to the Wi-Fi properly, and it's like
Uh-huh.
everything's working. Every other device she had in her house worked.
It was
It's
just
like
the
all of
iPad.
your other devices are connected to the Wi-Fi. Why would you think that the Wi-Fi is the problem?
Yeah.
You know, it's so
Was there
stupid.
too many
People,
devices, or was just like she forgot the password?
I don't know what the problem was because we never ended up solving that one. She
uh,
got mad and hung up on me after 45 minutes. So
nice.
my assumption from what I recall of the conversation is I think they didn't have Wi-Fi enabled on in the settings of the iPad. Um,
Oh,
but I couldn't get her to give me a distinct answer. And anytime I tried to tell her otherwise, it was no, it's not a problem on my end. It's a problem on your end, kind of thing. Which is another tidbit of advice. If you have to call in anywhere and people ask you questions, because IT and call centers can't see what you're looking at.
hmm,
Um, if you call in, let's say, an internet problem, and I ask, have you unplugged it and plugged it back in? Have you, you know, what devices are connecting and what aren't? What are the lights doing? I'm not
hmm.
asking this to waste people's time. I'm asking this because I can't see into your house.
Yeah.
But people take it as like a personal challenge, like, well, you should know what the lights are doing. And it's like, no, I don't know what the lights are doing. Oh my God. People drove me up the wall. And I hated
Yeah.
that job. I was my most miserable working in a call center.
I think I'm the most
Wouldn't recommend.
miserable now. So
No, I respect it. Well, if you want to be more miserable, try a call center.
I think I can do call center. I love when
Yeah,
people yell at me.
I think you're, yeah, I think you have the personality for it.
What? What? I'm so charismatic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So charming.
I don't know. I mean, one of the main skills, in my opinion, uh, customer service over call centers is maintaining the flow of the call. It's like
Hmm.
if people are yelling at you, you don't get combative with them. You're just like, okay, well, that's cool. How can I help you? What can we
Uh-huh.
do to resolve this?
Yeah.
De-escalation is a prime skill that I learned in a call center, and it's actually one of the reasons I am glad I've worked in a call center. Is there's so many times where people call in and they're immediately mad because they've been on hold for 30 minutes or they've been waiting for somebody to pick up the phone. They're already mad, and people start yelling. And I love that feeling when I'm just like, okay, I'm terribly sorry. What can we do to fix this? It's like, where do we go from here? And then you can immediately tell, feel that hostility leave. And they're
Yeah.
just like, well, I need this fixed. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously that's why I called. But, we're not here
Yeah.
to yell. Okay. I'm just here to get through my 8-hour shift. You're just here to get your shit working. We can meet in the middle.
I
Yeah.
have one of the highest customer service ratings at my store. I'm just that
That's
good
good.
at customer service.
Yeah.
Cause
I'm
I go
actually,
higher pitched, and I'm always like, "What can I help you with?" La da la da, ba da ba da ba da. You know,
mhm.
I'm just that good. I'm that
I do
good,
the same thing.
and I
Like
joke.
yeah, the higher pitch thing works like 100% of the time.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people are scared of me, and when I'm the
Yeah.
only associate there, you can't get mad at me because I look like I'm gonna rip your head off.
Yeah,
But
my district manager was actually upset that I was leaving and not the current manager of the store because his customer service is terrible. I watched him. I watched him yell at uh, an Asian guy because there was definitely a language barrier,
yeah,
and I get getting frustrated when you have to repeat yourself. Don't get me wrong, but it got to the point where he's just like, "How many fucking times do I have to tell you?" And it's like, that's not how you handle that situation, my guy.
Yeah.
That is absolutely not how you handle that situation.
Do you understand the words coming out my mouth?
Yeah. Don't fucking Chris Tucker this shit, okay?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah. But that's just who he is. He's like a fucking 70-something-year-old grouchy dude who has zero customer service skills.
Jesus.
So it's just like, I like him as a person, but like as a manager or as somebody to work with, it was not a pleasant experience.
Damn. The real races came out, right?
I'm like, dude, yeah, we actually made sure that guy got like a customer complaint card, because I was like, look, you need to send that in, because
Yeah.
that is no reason he should
Jesus.
be talking to you like that.
Damn. I don't know, Ken. You can call it there if you want.
That sounds good to me. I mean, I'm sure I've got some things in the back of my head, but at this point, it's going to take me too long to think of them. So
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much at time anyway. So
I realize a lot of yours is customer service stuff, and a lot of my stories about work is sex related. So
yeah,
very different work lives.
very different work environments.
I didn't even
Very
talk
different
about
work
me being
environments.
sexually assaulted by
Oh,
old
shit,
ladies
yeah.
and fucking my managers and my sugar daddy. All that happened at work.
Yeah,
Maybe another time we'll talk about.
maybe another time we can sprinkle those into other podcasts as little treats.
100%.
Little sexual assault treats.
Yeah. So yeah. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Be one
Yeah.
of the one of 700 people that watch the other podcast that are probably not gonna watch this podcast or the next one or the one after that. But yeah, for some reason our last podcast got like botted to hell. So I don't know what's
Yeah.
up, what's happening. If you're watching this and you did that, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Make
Also,
sure
if you are
you buy
watching
the
this,
bots for subs so we can make
Yeah.
money on this channel. I
I
swear to
will
God, if I
say-
go up in fucking subs, that's gonna be terrible.
I will say, I don't usually pander to this too much, but when things like this happen, leaving a like kind of makes a difference, because then we can
Yeah.
tell it's actual people.
Yeah.
So it really does help us out in this scenario.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. All the other stuff like the professional YouTubers and all that say and do. But yeah. If I'm being honest, work sucks.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I kind of can't wait to get another job.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Until next time. Peace.